What's up, guys? This is episode 2 of our pod. One was cut a little short due to technical issues, but a lot of cool things happened on that episode. I did reflect back on the things we talked about. I want to fact check myself. The population of Nepal, 39 million, not 60 million. So I got roasted a lot by my family for not knowing the population of my country.
It's not your fault, bro.
Oh,
you got
30.9.
Again, so.
Fuck. 30.9. But I will say, like, for a country like Nepal, you know, there's a huge amount of inaccuracy because not everybody's reporting on the census. They're too busy working on the farms, you know. So that's where the extra 10 million people are. But yeah, population of Nepal, 31 million, according to Google as of 2023. I needed to correct myself. There was one more that you had said that I also looked up, but I'm blanking out on it now.
Which one?
It was probably the opium, the 98% opium.
Yeah. That from Afghanistan. You were saying that.
How much of the world's opium comes from Afghanistan?
I said 97, so it's 90.
Yeah, that's close.
That's very.
Yeah, that's
a
close.
lot.
That's literally the reason why it's always going to be a war-torn country. It's like this is like the specific reason right here.
Yeah, my goodness.
All right. Now that we've fact-checked ourselves, a lot of cool things, a lot of surprising things happened this week. You guys want to start with Luka being traded to the Lakers? So just as a kind of pretext, we're all in Dallas. So this is this news was shocking to all of us. Pretty important to all of us too, because he was the face of, I want to say, maybe Texas sports altogether. Maybe when you look at everything altogether, Luka was up there. He had a huge following in Europe, so he brought in a lot of that demographics to the sport. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that the Mavs think they're bigger than one player. I think maybe it was an ego thing. That's my opinion. Because why would you trade the best player, a generational player? It doesn't make sense to me unless you think that, this guy's ego is too big or this guy doesn't fit with the culture. Like, let's just get rid of him. Like, we're bigger than him. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
You think it's an ego thing?
I think so. I think maybe he's a person that's, not agreeable, or maybe he's disagreeable. I don't know, but
then why do it so low key, right? Like, you've got a guy who you could probably get anything you want. Yeah. Money, lottery picks, trades, whatever you want, you could ask for Luka.
Yeah.
Why do it so low key where, you get a bunch of no names? I mean, you got Anthony Davis, but that's, he's also probably not the healthiest of player. I don't know. The fact that they all did it low key, some shenanigans is going on behind the scenes, man. Yeah, it definitely feels shady. And it cost them the Supermax, him being traded because he was eligible for the Supermax with the Mavs.
Yeah.
So that's an extra, I think, $100 million that it's going to cost him from being traded.
If you're going to trade somebody, at least get a good trade, at least feel like you did a good deal, right? Right. But I think outside looking in, for Dallas fans, they think this is a horrible deal.
Yeah. It's bad when the other side is like thanking you.
We have to wait till 2030 to see the first round picks or something like that.
Yeah.
It really doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And you got a player, in Anthony Davis who, with the circumstances of the trade, he's probably not going to want to be in Dallas anyway. Just the way things have happened, right? The first thing these guys are looking to do is get out.
Yeah.
And then you've got nobody. And you got a team that recently went to the finals.
Who does the trades? Like, who's in charge of it? Because, like, you see trades like KD gets traded to a team and I saw, like, a clip of, like, all the people that KD got when they traded KD, like, what the other team received. And it's, like, 5 first-round picks.
The Nets,
like that.
When they traded him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you look at NFL teams that constantly do every year. They do awesome trades, and they make their team better. But then you just see teams that do horrible trades. So you think that it's like
I think it depends. Like everybody's got different.
It's all incompetence. You think it's incompetence? You think they're just not good at their job, or do you think that they're purposely like getting like deals in other areas in their life where they're like, hey, just give us this, and then we'll help you out? Like,
yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know. What the motivation is behind the trade, and I think it could be, to your point, a power move to show. I think the NBA. Out of all the professional sports, I would say the NBA is the one where players have had the most power, right? Where, you got players controlling an entire organization. I mean, even KD, when Jimmy Butler wanted to go to Phoenix, I think the Warriors, the Suns, and the Heats were working a trade where Butler goes to Phoenix, KD goes to the Warriors, and the Warriors then trade, I think, who did they trade? What's his name? Oh man, I'm blanking out on his name. But that was the whole idea. But KD shut it down. Like he said no, and that was enough. But I think the whole idea, behind them doing it low key is so like nobody could interject.
Do you even like basketball anymore? Does anybody like? This is a controversial opinion, but like, I don't like basketball as much as I did 10 years ago. Yeah. And I think the ratings also reflect that. Like the ratings have gone down. Yeah. So, I don't know. How do you feel about? Do you still enjoy watching basketball?
Well, I was just waiting for you guys to finish so I can essentially educate everyone here.
Damn.
Carry this podcast on sports takes like Luka carried the Mavs.
Yeah.
There's a lot. This is unprecedented. It doesn't make sense. So then you have to try to figure out and put pieces together. Context, like you said, we're all in Dallas, but I also grew up playing basketball very competitively in Dallas when played college basketball. But really, the peak of the competition in terms of when I was playing was kind of AAU, Dallas, like local scene. And one of the teammates and guys that I was kind of someone that we looked up to and played with was a guy named Anthony Randolph. And Anthony Randolph went to Woodrow Wilson High School. He's like 6'10", power forward, went to LSU, was a top 10 pick in the NBA, went and played for Minnesota. His career kind of didn't come to fruition in the NBA. He didn't get to see his, potential through. And then he went overseas and he went and played at Real Madrid. And so because I knew him and followed him and we had, a relationship, I'd watch his games at Real Madrid. And when I would watch his games at Real Madrid, there's a little 16-year-old on the court that I was like, man, this guy's nasty. He's sick. He's so good. And it was Luka. And the way Luka would play at 16 was like a vet, like a 30-year-old, like controlled literally the pace of the game, had such a high IQ, was playing in a league of men and just excelling. And so I was just following him, like kind of just in awe of like his talent. 17, 18, boom, he's the MVP of the biggest league outside of the NBA in Europe. And as a Dallas guy, I'm like, shit, man, I hope we tank. Dirk's kind of come into his retirement years, and our team wasn't good. And I'm like, we got to get the first pick. This guy's by far the best player. We get the 5th pick. Somehow he still falls to us, make a trade with Atlanta, and we get Luka. And I'm just like, oh my God, we got the next like Larry Bird, the next kind of LeBron hybrid athlete, generational talent. And then once he started playing, everybody kind of caught along with how good he was. So I had like prior knowledge just because of that circumstance. But fast forward to 2025, and I pick my phone up and I read Twitter, and I'm like, this has got to be like a scam. Mm-hmm. There's a Twitter account, it's called NBA Centel, and it pretty much trolls people with fake news all the time. And it's really funny. And I thought I got Centelled. That's like a thing on NBA Twitter where I was like, oh, I got tricked. But it was real. And I just couldn't believe it. Like I knew Luka he's a big time player. Like he's a big fish, big pond kind of guy. Like he wasn't going to stay in Dallas forever, but he definitely wanted to get that money, see his Supermax through. I thought he'd leave like closer to 29, 30 years old when he's kind of like in the middle of his prime, decide to go to maybe Los Angeles, Miami, New York, one of the big markets. But like you were saying earlier, yeah, NBA's ratings are down. The player empowerment era, they're making so much money. They're not really loyal to a team. They're not loyal to a city. The fan base starts stops becoming loyal to the players, the way the sport is played with the threes, and everybody plays the same. You could watch any NBA team and they all kind of look the same because they play the same, because it's an analytic game now. You just shoot a whole bunch of threes and it's like a numbers game, and it's not aesthetically pleasing. You know, there are no more like power forwards and crazy in-game dunkers, Vince Carter type people. Like, those aren't valued as much as three-point shooters. You have a guy like Anthony Edwards who's like a sick athlete, but he's just jacking 13 threes up where he can go in and just dunk on whoever he wants. But it's just more valuable to shoot threes. So the product sucks. The players control how things work. They make a lot of money. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. They're rich enough that there's no stake in the game. And so as a fan, you stop caring. But then this specific Dallas thing is very, very interesting. So when you look at the Mavericks, they sell the team last year to Mark Cuban sells it to
the Adelson family.
The Adelson family. And if you know about the Adelson family, you know, they have a very interesting history that I'll let people look up, you know, themselves, but they could care less about basketball. It's not something, you know, Mark Cuban established this thing called MFFL. It's like Mavs Fan for Life. Like, he built a culture here of basketball that didn't exist before he bought the team. This was very much Cowboys, NFL, you know, some Rangers, baseball, some Stars, hockey. The Mavs were like the bottom of the list of sport in Dallas until Mark Cuban bought the team, and then he changed the culture, and he was somebody that was like hyper focused on like, hey, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna be good, we're gonna compete. And we had so many 50+ win seasons, so many playoff appearances, make it to the finals in 2006, lose to the Heat, make it back in 2011, win against the Heat. You know, Dirk's a Dallas legend, super loyal, you know, plays for the team for 20 years, passes the torch to Luka, and then Mark Cuban sells the team. You know, he makes comments that he would divorce his wife before he traded Luka, right? Sells the team trades Luka, generational talent, and he's dead silent, doesn't say anything. He probably signed a non-disparagement agreement when selling the team, so he can't say anything because he can't. Like, you know, he by contract, he made $2+ billion, still has 20-something% ownership in the team. And if you look it up, claims that he's still very much in charge of basketball operations because the people he sold it to, they're real estate casino people. They don't know about basketball. So to make fans feel comfortable, it's like, oh, okay, like, we're not like just selling the team. Like, he still has control. But then a move like this happens, the city is like freaking out, as they should be. It's unprecedented. Never in any sport have, like, it's hard. You have to go back to like Babe Ruth in baseball when they traded from the Red Sox to the Yankees, and then the city of Boston was convinced that they were cursed, and 80+ years they didn't win a championship because they traded a legend. And you don't do that. You don't trade a legend. So then you go like, you ask like, how do these work? Who makes these trades? You know, who makes the decisions? The GM. How these teams work is the GM's the general manager, and these guys are basketball savvy. They know how to make moves. But everything gets approved by ownership. They don't have the decision-making power, but they're the ones who can finesse and understand how the league works. The GM is a former Nike executive. Our GM, Nico Harrison, worked for Nike for 20+ years. He knows talent. He understands talent. He's worked with so many talented athletes. He knows a generational talent. So he's not going to just willingly trade Luka at 25 years old after we went to the finals last year. Right. And before that, a couple years ago, we were in the Western Conference Finals with a young Luka. You know, he's done a lot with a little. He's young. He's still kind of growing. So then you start to pick it apart. And I think the ratings are bad. Adam Silver, you know, talks with Miriam Adelson. You know, they come from the same community. They have a conversation, and she's buying all the lobbyists in Texas, trying to get gambling legalized in Austin, struggling. You know, there's pushback. She's annoyed. Adam Silver is like, our ratings are down. It's Super Bowl week. If we can get Luka to a flagship franchise, essentially pressure the team to trade him to Los Angeles to reinvigorate that market. LA is more of a global community, global fan base. you scratch my back, I scratch yours, right? So Adelson is kind of infamous for doing favors, right? She funded Bibi Netanyahu's campaign to be prime minister back in the 90s. You know, she's given over $100 million to Trump to do things for her. You know, now she does a little basketball favor to Adam Silver. Luka all of a sudden is on the Lakers. We get Anthony Davis. He's a good player. Nico has relationships with Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka, who's the GM of the Lakers, was Kobe Bryant's agent, right? Kobe Bryant is probably one of the most famous Nike athletes. So they've had a relationship for a long time. So they do the favor. They make it happen. They do it under the rug. They do it under the table. Kind of everybody feels like they got the rug pulled beneath them in terms of the Dallas fans. Now Luka's in Los Angeles. All week, it's Saturday. The Super Bowl's tomorrow. What's been the top topic of sport? Has it been the Chiefs versus Eagles Super Bowl Sunday? No, it's been literally basketball. Like, we could say ratings are bad, but every headline has been about basketball. So all of a sudden, the viewership, the numbers go back up. And it's all at the expense of the Dallas fan base. It's like unfortunate. The Sunday after, the trade happened last Saturday, right? The Sunday after, the next day, I was taking a yoga class, a sculpt fitness class that my girlfriend Francesca teaches. In that class was a Mavs insider. He was a former NBA player, 10 plus years in the NBA. He played for the Mavs for over 5 years, and now he's on the front office team. So I sat there and talked to him after, and I was like, "Hey man, like, what's up? Like, why did you guys make this decision? The whole city's buzzing." And he was like, "You know, Luka doesn't take his weight serious, and we're about to pay him to $350 million plus, and we can't make that investment in someone who doesn't take their weight serious." And you know, Mark Cuban actually is saying that he's sad or upset, but really he's not, and it doesn't make sense. And so he gave me the whole spin. So there's like a narrative, right, that they try to sell that like Luka is not a serious player to invest in. That's their reasoning. But in reality, if you pick the pieces apart, you see there are bigger pieces at play. So, yeah.
But that doesn't make sense, though, right? I mean, this is a guy who's played professionally with grown men since he was 14, I believe, in Europe. So
what doesn't make sense?
I really like the take that Adam Silver and the owner of the Mavs she's helping him,
of course,
with the ratings, because the idea of building up the Lakers to a team that they used to be, like back in the day, where they're like known as the best team, is a formula that leads to success in the NBA
in terms of viewership. So who's the best team in the NBA? If you guys know basketball, I know you don't really watch it, but right now, who's the best team in the NBA? Who won last year?
Is it the Golden State Warriors?
No.
Who won? 2021 was the last
who's
year
the best team? Who's the defending champs?
Celtics.
Okay, Boston Celtics. The most winning organization in the NBA. They have 18, 19 titles, I think. They have the most titles. So that's the Eastern Conference flagship organization. The Western Conference flagship organization is the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah. So when the Lakers play the Celtics, the viewership, the eyes, the attention, the rivalry, the story, the selling points, the Luka versus Tatum, the LeBron, all of it is just built for entertainment. So then you have to ask yourself, like, don't be confused why these things happen. Like, understand that there's kind of bigger pieces in play. I think a lot of people are blaming Nico, and I think he's like kind of like taking it, right, where he's like, okay, I'll be the bad guy because there are bigger powers at play, because we don't know the truth. But if you do some deductive reasoning, like, you kind of find out that it's unfortunate, because as soon as the first domino for the city of Dallas to go, backwards in terms of our basketball team was selling the team to the Adelsons, because it's going to be like, we had too good of a team for us not to be good for the next 2 years. So now we have Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis.
Didn't Kyrie ask for a trade too recently, or was that fake news?
Yeah, you got sent-held there.
I got sent-held?
People get sent-held all the time.
I was like, bro, he's leaving.
But I mean, but it seems believable, because Kyrie would be asking for like whatever.
Yeah, but listen, like him and Anthony Davis have a good relationship. Yeah. Kyrie was also a former Nike athlete. Nico is the GM, has a good relationship with all the Nike guys. now we have 3 people who've won championships on other teams who all want to win another championship on another team. So Klay Thompson has won championship with the Warriors, Kyrie with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Anthony Davis with the Lakers. And so all 3 of them have a chip on their shoulder and want to win one on a separate team together. So the Mavs' odds of winning this year, it's like, if you're going to take the Mavs to win, it's this year, and maybe they have a chance next year. But after that, in 5 years, I predict that the Mavs are going to be the worst team in the NBA. Adelson has more leverage when the Mavs are bad. If the fan base hates the team and doesn't show up at the games, and if we don't get gambling legalized here, then she's going to be like, well, I'm going to take this team to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that was, to me, like, out of all the conspiracy reasonings I heard, that was probably the most realistic to me.
That's part of it, right?
Just tanking the team so bad to the point where
make the city hate the team, make the city hate the ownership.
Dallas NBA to another city. Dallas will always have a basketball team.
Okay, well, like, you never say never.
But if they're moving the Mavs to Vegas,
never.
right?
Clip it, record it. 5 years from now, Dallas will always have a basketball
team.
There's no way. I don't see it going to Vegas. Maybe she starts a Vegas.
She owns this team. No, she owns this team, and the teams that move cities are because there's not, like, a lot of people showing up to the games. There's not viewership. Like, once that becomes a thing, you have leverage, and then they leave, and then Dallas can start another team. Like, this has happened in other cities for other major league, like, franchises. So it's very much in the cards. Will it happen? I don't think it'll happen either.
It's not Dallas. It might be Charlotte, or it might be
Houston. What are you talking about?
Maybe Houston.
Houston was a team.
Too.
Yeah, San Diego had a team, and they left. And it's very possible, but I don't think that'll happen either. But it's just like, once you put those pieces together, you realize that, like, we got totally fleeced as soon as the Adelsons don't give a shit about Americans, let alone Texans, let alone Dallas fans. Like, they do not care about us at all. And, like, if you're going to be upset about something, it's like, you can point your finger there, because they just don't care. And it's clear. This is the first domino is them buying the team. The second is trading a generational talent. This isn't something that the Mavs are not going to suck the day after they trade Luka. They're going to suck 5 years later when Luka's in his prime and he's winning rings with Los Angeles and the ratings shoot up, and Dallas is literally the worst team in the league.
No,
and
the conspiracy that makes the most sense is the Adelsons helping their friend Adam Silver to boost the ratings.
Yeah, I know, but she doesn't help people it's like, she's not helping without. It's like, I'm gonna scratch your back right now, but you're gonna scratch.
She's gonna want something back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she's not just doing it to do it.
There's other conspiracies, like geopolitical, like, conspiracies to why the trade happened and whatnot, which is like why I think the ratings of the Luka is, like, the trade of Luka is so high, because there's so many different conspiracies, but there's like, Israel and Gaza and whatever, and, like, all of this is tied to Luka somehow. So I think that makes there's a protest happening in Dallas right now, right? Like, I think they're gone.
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
That's just also another.
I don't love Luka that
here's
much.
Here's the thing: the reality is that the Dallas Mavericks have a pretty, thick kind of brown fan base, and a whole bunch of brown people carrying, like, pickets, like, whatever. It's not a good look optics wise. The GM is saying that he needs to get extra security because he's afraid, because he's gotten threats for his life, Nico Harrison, after this trade. And I feel bad for him, because I really don't think it was his decision. I think he got forced into it, and for what he got in return, because the Mavs spin, like I said, is he's fat, doesn't take care of his body, he's not serious about long term, he misses a lot of games, we can't pay him the supermax, we can't give him all this money, it's not going to be worth it. Yeah. So,
but they can't. I mean, financially, when you talk about the amounts of money Luka's generating from just his jersey sales alone, he's going to make that money back for the org, right?
It's like for them, it's like, okay, we're not going to pay, because he's going to miss a lot of games as he gets older. It's not going to be worth the investment. This is their spin. It's not the truth, but this is the spin. Yeah. But if that was the spin, then logically the next step is you put him up for auction. You don't just trade him underneath the table. If that's the spin, you go, okay, Luka's for sale. We want to hear all the offers, because we would have got some crazy offers. Yeah. And these offers would have been like 6, 7, 8 first round picks, that like kind of set yourself up to have a future. But that goes back to my point. The future is supposed to be bad for us. We got an old team now. We have like 3 stars in the back end of their prime that in the next couple of years would either retire or just fade into irrelevancy. Like, the team is going to suck. Like, that, this is just going to happen. Like, there's no, and then Luka, every time he comes to Dallas, is going to destroy this team. I mean, he's a killer. Yeah. And just wait. Like, he got caught off guard. He didn't want to get traded. You know, he wanted to go to a big city, but he didn't want to leave Dallas. Yeah, he just bought a $15 million house here. Like, he's rooted. You know, the city loved him. You know, he loved us back, I think. And he was just sad, but then it's like a couple of days passed. He's like, shit, I'm on the Lakers now. I'm playing with LeBron, and like, look at all these famous people at my games, and like, shit, he's gonna, you know, tighten up. He's like, I need to stop drinking so much iced tea and lemonade and all these liquid calories, because that's why he's fat. It's the liquid calories. He drinks a lot of beer. He drinks a lot of iced tea and lemonade, and like, he just gets all these liquid calories because he's not out of shape. He's just thick because of the liquid calories. As soon as he cuts that out, he's people say he's not good at defense. He's 6'8", and he has timing, and he understands things. Once he gets a little lean and a little more agile, like, he's gonna be a problem on defense too. Not like a stopper, but like, it's gonna be hard to score on someone that big. Like, it's not gonna be easy. Yeah. So all the spin is a lie.
I think he's lost some weight too, like from when he initially came in, because when he first came into the Mavs, he was much bigger.
No, he was small when he got drafted. If you like rookie Luka, like, you'll see. Like, I'll show you a picture. He's skinny. The weight that he gained. Like you can even see from the frame here. Yeah. This is when we first got him. He's a lot smaller.
2019.
Yeah, and then, you know, he's skinny here. He gained weight once he started making a little bit of money, and just drinking a lot and age, you know. But it's sad, you know. I don't want to harp on this for too much longer, but I just think people should do their research on who the Adelsons are and where their allegiance is, because it's not the city of Dallas at all. They care about other things, like gambling and making people broke and making people off, you know, making money off of them, and they don't know shit about basketball. And they're the main reason why that Luka got traded.
But then how much
who are you rooting for when Dallas versus Lakers?
I'm rooting for Luka. There's not a bone in my body that cares about the Mavs team because of ownership at all. There's no point. If you're somebody that lives in Dallas, like, I'm loyal to my city. I love Dallas, born and raised. I love all the Dallas teams. It sucks, but as soon as they bought the team, I knew that I wouldn't be loyal to the team, not going to purchase anything, not going to go to the, you know, games, whatever. None of it. I'm rooting for Kyrie. I love Kyrie, you know, Muslim brother. I want to see him be successful. So I'm rooting for him. And I'm rooting for Luka because now you just created a monster. Like, he was already a generational talent, and you just gave him a chip. Like, that's like the thing that you don't do. Like, it's like going to take him to the next level. And it's going to be sad 10 years from now when he's holding up 4 or 5 rings and you know, we're the worst team, because that's what's going to happen. Again, Anthony Davis is solid. Klay Thompson, he still can shoot the lights out. Kyrie's a beast. We actually have a good I don't even like saying we. Dallas has a good roster. And they're going to make an impact this year and maybe even next year. They have a chance. The West is pretty open. I mean, Oklahoma City right now is the best team. They're really good. Shea is probably the best player right now in the league. He's probably going to end up being MVP. I mean, he's so efficient, effective, you know, consistent. He's also just a cool cat. But come playoff time, give me LeBron and Luka.
Yeah.
Like all day, every day.
So
like
LeBron's happy about this trade.
Very happy.
Did he have any play in making the trade? You think
no,
he was
but
just
like
as shocked as everybody else, or
no, he knew. But did he have like sway? Like, no. I mean, AD is his guy, and he just, you know, obviously Luka was his favorite player because real recognizes real. LeBron's favorite player is Luka because he thinks Luka's probably the best player in the NBA. That's why. And we traded him, and Dallas traded him. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a very loaded topic. A lot of people want to blame the GM. I get it. It's easy to blame the GM. It's like easy. It's like a little lazy to be like, oh, Nico, like he doesn't like Luka. It's like, no, he got pressure and he got AD in return, and he's like, shit. He even made a comment. He was like, the future for me is the next 3 years. 10 years from now, I might be in the grave. That's what he said. So if you put all those pieces together, it just makes sense. He's saying the future is 3 years because he knows in 5 years, likely he's not going to be the GM. The Mavs are going to be a poverty basketball organization. the Adelson will have leverage either to either move the team or to just whatever. By then, maybe she's like plan A, plan B. Plan A is getting legislation passed for gambling to be legal. You know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure Greg Abbott like a couple days after the trade opens up that like he wants to get sports betting legal in Texas. Okay. And it's just like a domino, the first domino. Once sports betting is legal, casinos and like gambling, like that's just next. So my theory is Adelson
straight up happened Monday after the trade.
So my theory is Adelson's got plan A and plan B. Plan A is getting legislation passed in, doing everything she can with all the money she's got, buying all these lobbyists, right? You could look all this stuff up too. Going in Austin, hammering it. I love Texas because they're like, we don't want gambling here. I think that's actually an awesome thing about this state. It's like, no, we don't want it. Part of it could be there's influence coming from the, I want to think it's because like it's a conservative state and they want to like stay solid to like principles. Mm-hmm. Part of it could be it's the Indian reservations in Oklahoma, the biggest casino in the world, WinStar, Choctaw. They're like, no, it can't be legal in Texas because as soon as it's legal in Texas, there goes our business. Yeah. The reservations aren't making the money anymore. It's like Texas is going to be, most of the casinos are filled with people from Dallas, from Texas. So I think that's part of it. They're like, no, they have their own lobbyists. So you have lobbyists fighting lobbyists so that it doesn't get passed. I think Adelson didn't realize what kind of battle that she was getting herself into. And now that she's like, okay, plan A is getting a casino here. But if that doesn't work, I'm taking this team to Las Vegas. Why would I want it here? I own this team now. She didn't buy the team because she cares about basketball.
But why buy the team just to move it? I mean,
the team was an asset to build like a casino resort around, right? That was like the original purchase in Texas. So you're essentially building the coolest you're first, right? Like you're building the coolest casino resort in Texas, built around the basketball team, and you're going to create this thing where people can come into the game, bet on the game, watch it, put your ticket in, watch it, collect your cash after. It's like a whole new concept. Essentially bringing Vegas here was, and if you think about it, like, just think about if that happened, like she would make so much money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a whole, like, it's like a market of people that are going to be licking their chops to gamble. You know what I mean? It's like a new market that she's tapping into that has been going to these Indian reservations that, it's like normalized. All gambling has become such a normalized thing. Kids are betting on sports and like the culture of gambling is so bad. But so that's to me my hypothesis. It's like plan A, plan B. Plan A is a lot of stress and she's been pouring into it and it's not coming to fruition. So it's like positioning for plan B. And to position for plan B and move the team has to suck. The city has to hate the team. Those things have to happen to move a team.
So it's all about leverage, you think? It's
all about leverage.
Everything they're doing right now.
It's all about leverage. Because give me someone, please.
Why do the lawmakers care about that? Why do the lawmakers care that the basketball team sucks? Is it just like an economic disruption
exactly.
that it's going to cause?
It's like, okay, I don't know how much. We have our family owns a wine and spirits store in Victory Park that's like right across the street from American Airlines Center where the Mavericks play. And every time there's an event in American Airlines Center, there's a direct correlation to us getting more business, as well as the restaurants and everything in that area, the whole city, right?
Right.
I think when LeBron left the city of Cleveland, they lost like $2 billion.
Yeah. I think they saw an instant impact.
Instant impact. So like a sports organization, that's why our tax dollars goes into building like these stadiums, because ultimately like when they're built and they're solid and there's events, it gives more jobs for people and more money for the city, and it just brings a flow of income and economy towards the city. So that's the leverage, right? Like, hey, this team sucks now. Like the businesses around it are struggling a little bit more because they were built around the stadium and around like the success of the organization, right? So you just get more leverage if they're bad, right? Because it's like the city is like, well, we don't want to lose a professional sports team that brings us X amount of like, tourism and all the things that come with it, right? Like the money, the tourism, the draw, the appeal, entertainment, whatever it is. It's like they don't want to miss out on that. So how do you get leverage if you have a generational talent? Like if you have,
So is it the Mavs owner versus Choctaw right now? Is that what's happening?
I don't know enough about that, but I would presume that there's some of that. I think.
So she bought into Dallas to be like, because if Texas is going against Choctaw and WinStar, like they're gonna lose that battle, right?
Yeah.
Unless
Somebody
on the
unless
side of
Vegas
Texas,
comes to Texas.
Exactly.
And so now it's kind of like a Vegas versus
yeah.
And so that's exactly what's happening. And it's all at the expense of the Mavs fan base, the Dallas fan base. Like they're the losers in this because they get fleeced. Not LA, but everyone in LA is like on fire right now. So excited. The fan base hype, as they should be. They just literally got a generation. That doesn't happen. You draft someone like that. You don't trade for someone like that. And when you trade for someone like that, it's when they're a little bit into their prime or past it. You don't get them walking into their prime. You don't get them when they're 25. You know what I mean?
Basically for nothing.
Basically for nothing.
Nothing.
Basically didn't give much. They gave their, one of their all-stars. Again, AD is no bum. Like this guy is really, really good. He's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. So that helps with the spin because you can say that, oh, okay, but we in return got Anthony Davis and our defense wins championships. This is what Mavs are saying, right? Defense wins championships. We literally got to the finals last year with Luka. We didn't lose because we had bad defense. We lost because we couldn't score on them, ultimately.
And Luka has some historic playoff performances. His Game 7 performance against the Suns.
Unreal. The game-winning 3 against the Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert last year, when he did step back 3 in his face. Yeah. It's like you trade that the year after and then have a reason. No, it doesn't make any sense. There's pressure from above for all the other theories that we just had. And again, these are all just theories. Like we don't know. I don't know. But doesn't it kind of make a little bit of sense? Like when you start trying to piece it together.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of powers at play here, right? There's
sure.
a lot of different intentions, but as a fan, I think for me, your point makes perfect sense to me that one of the justifications you had was I'm not going to support the Mavs, I'm going to support Luka. So if the NBA's intention was just to bring additional traffic to a team that's more marketable, a team that's more widely recognized across the globe, then exactly they've done it, right? Now they brought in all the Dallas fans and all the Luka fans to the Lakers, where now they have LeBron there as well, right? And
the Lakers are just they're one of those franchises that's global. For us, the Mavs aren't global, but we had more global reach because we had international stars. We had Dirk.
Luka had a presence
in
Europe,
Luka. We had Dirk, we had Luka. We have international stars, so there's more international appeal. But the Lakers, the brand alone has international appeal. China, which is one of the biggest countries that follows and watches basketball, their favorite team is LA. Their favorite player was Kobe. Yeah. They follow that team. They're gonna wear the LA gear. You mentioned Luka had the number 6 selling jersey when he was on the Mavs. He's the number 1 selling jersey right now on the Lakers. It's the number 1 selling jersey, and frats across the world are gonna be repping. Frat boys all over America are gonna be repping that purple 77 Luka. You know what I mean? That thing's gonna be just on fire. And I already know. My boys in OU are wearing it. So, we don't have to go too much more into this. Obviously, it was a loaded subject, and there's a lot of I encourage everybody to do their own research on just the Adelsons.
We should do an episode where we sort of go into a deep dive on the background and the history and
totally
what they're because I think a lot of people don't know.
They don't.
What's going on and what they do, and
they only see what's in front of them, and then who's in front of them is the guy in front on the camera, and the guy in the camera is Nico, our GM, and he's mumbling and he's trying to make it make sense.
He also doesn't come off very confident.
Nico is. I only know.
You haven't seen any press conference.
Well, Nico Harrison is our GM again. Yeah. He was a Nike executive. He became our GM, and all he did was make good deals since he's been here. He got PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford last year at the trade deadline, and then we made it to the finals, and our team was sick. He got Kyrie Irving. Nobody believed in Kyrie. All he did was make good deals, and then he trades Luka, and people want to think that it's him. They
was he also the GM when we lost Brunson?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Because we lost Brunson for an extra $5 million. He was asking $40.
I think that year he just like, I think he just became the GM. And again, you got to look
Yeah.
that up. But the Brunson thing was bound to happen. We had to make a choice. The New York Knicks hired Jalen Brunson's dad.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to New York.
But he wanted to stay, though. I think he was
course,
asking 41.
Yeah, he wanted to say
and we
41, and we didn't do it. And ultimately, we made it to the finals last year. So, like, it wasn't a bad choice. Like, Brunson is a beast, and I love Brunson. Again, we drafted Brunson and Luka in the same
But
draft.
we didn't win, though. So
No. We made it to the Western Conference Finals with Brunson and Luka, and then we lost to Golden State that year, and Golden State won the championship that year in 2022. But
they also had, like, a magical year,
we
though.
made it to the finals last year. Without Brunson, we didn't need Brunson. Luka and Kyrie was a better, combo. And then, we got really cool bigs. We drafted Derek Lively. Again, that's GM Nico. All Nico did was make good moves. And then he trades Luka. And people want to blame him as if it was his choice. And he goes up there, press conference after. He looks disheveled. Jason Kidd looks shocked.
Yeah.
He's like mumbling, and he's like trying to like make it make sense for everyone else. And I just feel bad for him because it's like clearly it wasn't his choice alone. Clearly there was pressure. So then that's when you start conspiracy theory stuff, because it's all, ultimately a conspiracy theory. This isn't fact. I just have put pieces together, and I'm like, this sucks.
I think we got to bring in, we got to bring like somebody in who understands the casino background a lot more, and maybe some other intentions, motivators that we're not.
Yeah, I just think people should do their research on like who these people are and like where their allegiance is and what they care about.
Right.
I would love a deep dive on the new owners of the Mavs and the history behind them, and just sort of talking about it, because that's interesting. And
actually, there's a guy, Pablo Torre. He's done a deep dive on them.
pull up a clip on Twitter or something.
So this is long, but he's a sports journalist who's awesome.
Today's episode is about how the biggest and most shocking story of the NBA Finals is not the Celtics going up 2-0 or Kristaps Porzingis' return or Drew Holiday being really great at defense or any of that stuff. It's something that isn't happening. The story I want to tell you about is something that nobody else seems to even really be talking about, which is crazy. Because you may recall that when the Brooklyn Nets traded Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks in February of last year, he was more or less the biggest PR headache in the entire NBA, if not all of sports. He was infamously trafficking in insane and bigoted conspiracy theories. He tweeted out a link to a flagrantly anti-Semitic film on Amazon that featured, among many other things, a fake quote from Hitler. Kyrie refused to apologize, he got suspended, he eventually posted an apology on Instagram, and then, of course, deleted that apology not that long after. But I want to be as fair as possible to Kyrie here in that brief summary, because I do believe he has a sincerely held position about world affairs, and it's pretty simple. It's that his conscience could not possibly allow basketball to be his number one priority. It's something that Kyrie explained himself at a post-game presser back in May of 2021 after a major spike of violence in the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, a lot of stuff is going on in this world, and basketball is just not the most important thing to me right now. There's a lot of stuff going on overseas. All my people are still in bondage all across the world, and there's a lot of dehumanization going on. So
I love when people have a personality, man. I love it. I feel like too many people are bots right now, and for somebody to speak out, even though it will affect their
walking that tightrope.
Yeah.
Walking that tightrope is so difficult for these athletes. That's why I have so much respect. I totally agree with that. He got in trouble because he didn't want to get vaccinated, and that was like the first thing that happened. And now fast forward, a few years later, it's like a lot of people who didn't want to get vaccinated are being empowered, and they didn't let him play in Brooklyn and essentially ruined his experience in his hometown city. But if we can watch this later, and I recommend people to go watch this deep dive Pablo Torre finds out, and it breaks down Mary Matelson. So it does what we're talking about, and he does a really good job, and it's super interesting because it's like, on one hand, we get this player, Nico, our GM, goes and gets a badass point guard in Kyrie Irving, and on the other hand, the team is owned But I think the richest Israeli in the world, Mary Edelson is right now. I don't know, but she's up there. Very influential, right? So he's obviously Muslim, Kyrie, free Palestine. And this is what this video breaks down. It's like the tightrope he has to walk being on the Mavs when the owner is essentially on the other side of his, where he stands.
And that takes guts.
And that's why I'm like, if the Mavs win and Kyrie balls out, like, that's what I want. Like, I want him to win. I want him to win. So at the end, when he's holding the trophy, he just screams like "Free Palestine." You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's what would happen. I mean, I don't know if it will happen, but like, and I could root for him. And beyond my love for Kyrie is bigger than my hate for the ownership of the Mavs. Right? Like, he's just a special athlete because he stood his ground. Again, he's made mistakes.
See, that's the thing, is that everyone can make mistakes and no one's going to be 100% right. Like, he said some stuff that are clearly not right, like, factually, but also it's just having a personality and standing by sort of what you believe in and showing your personality. I feel like, to me, really resonates. Like, another person's Kanye has said some wild stuff.
We can move to Kanye now, for sure.
He has a personality that I'm in love with. I like everything that, I don't know. I'm a big Kanye fan. I've always had his back no matter what is going on. Again, there's a difference between.
Well, you just have to be careful because
you
haven't been on Twitter, so you don't know what he's been saying. The past couple days, he's been on fire.
So this is the thing, is that people can be crazy and people could say crazy things, and I think a lot of the opinions on people is that when you have a big platform, you should be careful on what you say. And
look at the shirt he just dropped.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Cut it. No, but never mind. I take it back.
So
I don't know who Kanye is.
Kanye's our
next
canceled.
I think
1.5 episode in, bro.
we went in pretty hard on the Luka thing, and we can have a whole like.
I don't think this is real Kanye, man.
No, but here's the thing. Okay, like, I think this is a great like pivot to this conversation, because this was all in the past 2 days. Like, he's been absolutely, and if you guys like want to look it up, just go to his Twitter. A lot of this stuff might be deleted by the time you get to it, but are you guys familiar with like what the Overton window is? Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Yeah, let me do a quick little breakdown for you guys, because I can give you my explanation of it, but I'd rather you guys see it. And this is what I believe. This is why I like Kanye. It's because of what he does for the Overton window. And that's why I think he does what he does. I think part of it's trolling.
But he also stands by his opinions, and he doesn't like pivot like at all. He doesn't get swayed by other people. He may say wrong things, like, and he does all the time, I'm sure. But like, what he believes is what he's gonna say, and no one's gonna tell him, "Hey,
man. I disagree with that. I think Kanye, you know, he was out. Maybe you could.
Okay, so
walk through this first.
So to me, I think Kanye's a genius. I think you can't take what he says for its face value. Yeah. I think if you understand what the Overton window is, it helps you kind of understand why it's valuable that people like him do what they do. So essentially, it's the range of subjects and arguments politically acceptable to the mainstream population at any given time. So if you look at it, unthinkable and radical thoughts, it allows us to talk about more things and have more free speech. So it's like there has to be sacrificial people who talk about these unthinkable things for us to have conversations about these very nuanced, like complicated things, right? Because a lot of what he's talking about, right, is very Nazi and Hitler specific, because, you know, we're programmed to just believe what we read in the textbooks, not question what happened at that time with those people, not really talk about it and have like a discourse, right? So you have people like Kanye who like say the most outlandish shit that of course I don't agree with, but like it makes me feel like, okay, he's sacrificing almost himself so that we can talk about everything in a way that's politically correct. Because say he doesn't do these things, then what we can talk about, that window is controlled. Like
exactly. So I guess the two sides of the coin, which is why I'll always side by with Kanye, is that what's better, saying a controversial thing that's wrong or not being allowed to say something? Like, I honestly think that being able to speak your opinion and being wrong, like, is more important than being canceled or not being allowed to have an opinion on a certain subject. which he'll say some shit and he'll be completely wrong. Maybe I'm on his side with a lot of the stuff he says, but I don't know what he's been going off on Twitter, so I might have to walk some statements.
I think my problem with like Kanye is we just talked about Kyrie, right? When Kyrie goes out and says something, I don't think anybody doubts that he really believes in that, right? Like Kyrie's out there, whatever his opinions are. I mean, I think anytime somebody's making $200-300 million, that's more than enough money for them to just be quiet and just keep earning that money. Kyrie still goes out and whatever's on his mind, I'm not getting vaccinated. I'm not going to play. Nobody's going to pressure me into this, right? Free Palestine. Whatever his opinions are, nobody has a doubt, or I don't think you could doubt Kyrie that he really believes in what he's saying.
Yeah.
Whenever Kanye says something, my personal opinion is, I feel like he's saying that to get, this is part of Kanye's like genius, is he knows how to be the center of attention.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna like read this tweet, but this is exactly what the Overton window does. Like, this is what it does, right? Like,
yeah,
it's so controversial.
He does not hire fat or ugly people.
Again, because the culture normalizes being fat. You know what I mean? Like, that it's okay. When in reality, some people do have like genetic battles with weight, but it's not okay to be fat for your health. It's not okay to carry extra or eat more or just like, be.
I think I would say, like, if you have it's not okay. Like, if you have an option to not be fat,
don't be gluttonous.
Yeah.
Like, wake up early. Go to the gym. Try to work out. Try to eat healthy. Try to prioritize your health. Don't eat like bad food. Like, don't do these things. And it can't be normalized in the culture. What it takes is outlandish people calling it a spade, whether it's Andrew Tate. Like, he had a tweet where he was like, I'm channeling my inner Andrew Tate, because he understands that people like Andrew Tate, Kanye, like they do push the Overton window for us to be able to talk about things that we should be talking about, that shouldn't be normalized. Again, you can't like word for word justify some of the things that they say. It is outlandish. It is kind of like crazy, ultimately.
I love Andrew Tate, man.
Yeah. But
I love him.
But it's important for us to be able to talk.
They get so much
we
hate.
got to talk about your trip to Europe.
They get so much hate. They get so much hate.
And
other people are so protected doing far worse shit.
But I don't even, like, before we even go into that, he said, my sales doubled since last night. The world must be racist like me. So part of what he does is push the Overton window. The other part is just marketing. Kind of, he trolls. He goes crazy. Because the attention comes back on him, and then he can push his product. Like, there are multiple reasons why he does what he does. And I don't justify all of his actions. I'm not sitting here saying it's okay what he's doing and what he's saying. I'm just saying that, like, as a community, as a culture, like, we want to, in terms of and what makes us American, and the best part about being America is the freedom of speech. Like, that first, constitutional right that we have is so important. Like, that's the main thing that makes this country really better than any other country, because we have that right. And people like him and people who keep testing the waters and pushing the boundaries allows, like, the everyday people to have, normal conversations about whatever they want. And you have to, be consistent and be fair and, not like spew hate, because I think that's wrong. Like, I don't think that's ever right. But I think it's important that, free speech is all speech, and hate speech is part of that. And if somebody wants to say that, just don't listen to them. Don't follow them. Just be like, okay, now I know where you stand, and I don't care for you. Like, that's okay too. But to, like, police what people talk about is a very slippery slope, and then you're controlled. And that's why I like what he does, because it keeps, the narrative on, like, being able to talk.
So it's how they say it. It's not the message, right? It's how they say it that upsets people.
No, he's saying some crazy stuff. Like, he's saying some, like, he's literally selling a shirt.
I don't know, bro. Kanye and Andrew Tate are more right than wrong compared to everybody else that I listen to. Like,
but do you feel that's because of, like, the way they say it? Like, they're just confident, like, whatever they say,
No, I think factually, if you look at the message, they're more right than wrong. But I think how they say it and what they say really triggers people.
Yeah.
Which, to me, I don't really get.
I mean, read these tweets. He said, now what?
Now what, bitches?
again, this like
this is wild.
He's
bro.
not saying this stuff because he actually means it. He's saying it because he's pushing the Overton window, because of freedom of speech, because he's trolling, because he's marketing, because, I mean, watch the Yeezy Genius documentary on Netflix and you'll see that. I mean, he went on, he's done so many things that in the moment at the time were very controversial. Yeah, George Bush doesn't like black people and this and that, and saying things that were uncomfortable, but like kind of aged well. I don't know if this stuff will ever age well. I just think that, like, again, people should do their research and get a better understanding of what happened at that time. You know, the World War II, all the things the Nazis did, clearly bad, clearly evil. Anytime you kill innocent children or house them or do whatever, it's never an okay thing or justified. But people should be able to talk about these things.
He said no rich person is truly funny. Being funny is for broke people.
Dude, you got to read.
Next time somebody says I'm not funny, I'm spitting Kanye at them, bro.
One of the ones I liked.
It's like, I'm not funny because my bank account is too large, man. Too many digits. I'm not gentle. I'm king.
I just tweeted everything I could.
Dude, Kanye's going wild.
No, he's going absolutely crazy. And Ben Shapiro posted a video and was saying, like, don't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he killed himself. So think about that.
Yeah.
Like, he's
setting up. He's setting up, like,
now everybody's like tweeting like Kanye would never kill himself. Like, so it's just interesting. It's like an interesting series of events. Like he's absolutely crazy. Like absolutely crazy. Kanye is absolutely crazy.
I think 10 years from now we're gonna be like, all right, he was spot on, not crazy.
I mean,
I think we're gonna think he's totally sane. I don't know. This seems like a normal person to me. If I had the guts, I would. Can go off.
You'd be
like
saying
this.
all these things?
I wouldn't say the same thing, but I'll be going off like this all the time.
I'm racist. Stereotypes exist for a reason, and they all be true. That's a crazy tweet, but again, that one I can kind of like understand.
Yeah. Stereotypes are true, though.
Yeah, like.
Bro, yeah, I was about to say, you know, talk about this Overton window and stereotypes. What's with your problem with Indians at the gym, bro?
Bro, Indians at the gym, again. I love Indians.
I'm a tough cookie.
Okay, don't worry about that.
All right.
I love Indians.
Pull up Andrew Tate. Let's see. Has he said anything? Has he had any responses to Kanye? Oh, this girl.
This account is pure satire. Leonardo Joni. I read this tweet, and it was hilarious.
Yes,
absolutely
My gym
hilarious.
is full of Indian men. Great. Now I have to compete with them for the 10-pound dumbbell.
It's hilarious because if you're at a gym, you know exactly what this means. And God, I love Indians, but like as a brown brother, you gotta like, you know, your siblings and your brothers, they're the ones who tell you the uncomfortable truths so that you can kind of work on yourself and be better. I think that's important. And to my Indian brothers, deodorant, you know, don't overwhelm like the gyms. If you're at the gym, don't stand and stare at people, you know, just do your workout.
I don't think they like deodorant. I don't think they believe in it.
Okay, well, believe in it.
I think it's
part
not
of
about
their
other
cult,
people, like religion or something.
I don't know if it's anything like that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
No,
all.
if you're in a
they're all
shared-
educated.
if you're in a
They're
shared-
educated, they're smart, but I don't think their religion
Listen,
allows
if you're
them
in a
to have
shared
deodorant.
public space, take care of yourself, your odor, your hygiene. Just it's not about you or whatever you believe in. It's about the space that you're in and
So
what's
I'll say
Also,
this.
why did they wear sandals everywhere? I work in a cardiology clinic, and we had a treadmill test. The Indian lady came in with the Indian outfit with sandals on.
Listen, man,
I was like, how are you going to do a
treadmill?
treadmill?
I spent 3
How
months
are
in
you gonna
India,
do-
right? Let me answer.
How are you
this.
going to do a treadmill
All right.
test with sandals on? And then she got mad at me. She
Wait.
said, no, I'm going to
Really?
do. Yeah, she was like, I'm going to do the test.
Well-
I came all the way this way. I was like, you're wearing sandals.
which is dangerous.
Which is
Ultimately, you're on a
dangerous, yeah.
treadmill with sandals. You're gonna slip, fall, hurt your knee.
No,
this
man.
is
Yeah.
They run faster with the sandals.
of course. if it was sandals.
If Usain Bolt was Indian, he would like break the world
Listen,
record.
if the
in
Olympics were
sandals.
sandals only, India would have gold medals for sure.
Yeah,
Well, they'd be
honestly.
focusing on
No,
cricket,
no,
you
no,
know.
for
They've
sure.
got different
For sure.
priorities.
Yeah.
If there was hold your hand behind your back slow walk race, India's winning gold. They're winning gold.
If
Listen,
every
it's,
Olympic
it's
sport
about
required
it's
sandals, it would just be
Again,
Indians.
like I
just
said,
one,
I-
one.
Indians
I'm-
don't
I am
win because they're
Indian.
forced to wear shoes.
I'm Indian. I love Indians. Yeah. They're my brothers. You just again, your siblings tell you the uncomfortable truths. Your brothers or your sisters.
Why do they like Teslas? They
I don't know about all
drive
that
Teslas.
stuff. I just all I know is
because
like,
they're so smart financially, like they're cheap and they keep their money. But Teslas lose their value like immediately off they lose like 50%, right?
Well, it's
but
not
you don't
about
see
values,
them
right?
not in a Tesla.
I think so.
okay,
I
we're talking
think
about the gym. I'm only talking about the gym. I'm not talking about other things. I'm saying in the gym,
What about
wear
Teslas?
No, Teslas because they're
in
so
the gym,
smart.
wear sneakers, wear shorts, wear athleisure. Don't come in collared t-shirts. Don't come in jeans. Don't come in sandals. Like put deodorant on. Take care of your hygiene. Respect the space. Respect other people in the gym. Do your workout. Go home. Use it for the purpose of what it is. It's not your house. Like these are things. It's just common courtesy. It's not about you or your culture. It's not about one little thing. And it's like a common trend. And that's not specific to just. That's for everyone. It's just that group has like these issues. It's a thing. And again, love them, brothers. But like people in the somebody told me the other day that they were in the gym. And there's an Indian guy next to him, and he smelled so bad, okay? And that he put his own shirt up to do this so that people didn't think it was him that smelled bad, and it was the person next to him because he was like, oh, God, they're going to think it's me, right? So it's like, be considerate. That's all it is. Just be considerate. You're here. Like,
First thing I would say is, if you're getting up to go to the gym, that's great. Continue
exactly,
to do that, right? That's
exactly.
important, right?
Yeah.
We all believe in
Shijon's the good guy on this podcast. We need your opinion.
No.
Well, I'm the good guy. The good guy tells you the
No,
truth.
you're not the good guy.
The bad guy tells you it's okay. He's the bad guy.
Wait, I haven't said it's okay. First of all,
Why do they drive Teslas, bro? They must have saw like Shah Rukh Khan, or they must have saw one Indian. They must have saw one Indian with a Tesla, and they're like, "This is
why? What are you talking about?
because it
Tax
loses its
write-off.
values."
Tax write-off when you buy it. It's cheap up
Bro,
front.
a $60,000 Tesla is worth $20,000.
but it's not about like the
It's
fact
not-
that it's worth 20,000. I think the cultural intention, right? And I think as a Nepali, we share a lot of beliefs culturally, right?
Yeah.
When we buy something, we don't buy it with the intention of, in 5 years it's going to be worth 20,000. We buy it with the intention that, hey, I'm going to drive it until it falls apart, right? And Teslas are known to be longer lasting, right?
Okay.
Something happens, change the battery.
Yeah.
And then the overall cost of maintenance also is much less on a Tesla, and it's just more convenient. So it's not about, oh man, if I buy this for $60K, it's worth $20K. 2 years later, the $20K only matters if you're gonna sell, right? If you don't have an intention, it's the same thing as saying oh man, my house is worth $2 million. You're paying property tax on that $2 million, but you're not selling.
Yeah.
So
Listen, when
there's
it comes
no
to
point.
being practical, like Indians, they have the playbook. They know how to be practical. They know how to spend. They know how to keep their costs low. They're smart. That's a smart thing. This is a good thing.
And a lot of Indians here, especially if they have family back home, they sent a lot of money back home.
Yeah, they take care of their own. There's a lot of positives. I'm just talking about in the gym.
Yeah.
Again, not everyone's perfect. Everyone has their flaws. This is a cultural flaw that needs to be called out, that needs to be adjusted.
I think it's just an educational piece.
It's
though. I think
educational
it's an
piece.
educational piece, where
You want people to be excited to see you at the gym. You don't want them to run away from you or to complain to the gym owners or whatever. You want people to be like, oh, hey, he's back. Oh, God, wow, look at you, progress. You've done well. You want that support, the community. It's a community. Unless you start your own gym where it's like, hey, there's chicken tikka at the cafe and everyone can smell like whatever they want, wear whatever they want. This is our gym. That's fine. Yeah. But when you come to a public shared space, you have to be respectful of the space that you're sharing for other people. It's not about you. And it's not racist. It's not a stereotype, none of that stuff. It's just like the truth. And truth sometimes are uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like there are things about each of us that we're, insecure about or maybe uncomfortable to like hear. But like when you hear it, you note it. I mean, I remember when I was like 12, sixth grade, 7th grade, and I was in a basketball tournament, and I didn't wear deodorant that day, okay? And I went, and I sweated, and we were playing, and the guy on the other team was like, God, you smell like shit. Okay? He was like talking shit to me the whole game. And then after the game, he was like, wear deodorant, bro. You smell like shit. And like it hurt my feelings. I was like, oh, this guy's fucking racist. Like he's coming at me. As a white dude, he's like coming at me. It's racist. But then it's like, yeah, I did smell. I was like, oh shit, I have like an odor, and I have to be mindful of that. And it's not okay if everyone if everyone did that, the gym would smell like shit and the fans wouldn't want to be there and the whole thing would be uncomfortable. So it's like you do your part for the shared space, and it's better for your own like confidence and your own like strength in the next time. So I learned my lesson. Like after that, I was like, I'm never doing something athletic without fucking, you know, putting some deodorant. It doesn't matter if it has chemicals or not. Whatever it is that blocks the odor, like I'm doing that.
No, they need to be more
because
conscious about their smell.
yeah,
Like,
because the
I don't
food
understand
has
why they're
spices.
not.
We have spicy food in our culture.
Everyone has. I mean, yeah.
No,
we
no,
have
I'm saying
spicy
we have
food.
spicy
Yeah,
in our
we
culture.
do.
So if
Nepali
we
does too. We all
Yeah.
smell nice.
Well, I don't say. That's what I'm saying. It's like we have that same food. We have a similar sweat that's not, you know, the best smell. And if none of us cared about our hygiene, we'd have bad smell too.
Everybody would have it, right? It's not like smelling bad is not, you know, specific to one culture or food, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
no, the
think
food
biggest-
influences the smell.
But I
The
think
smell
the
does, for
biggest
sure.
reason behind this, I'll tell you. By the way, I had the same incident when I first moved to America, where I think within the first week somebody said, "Man, you stink," and the kid basically bullied me into wearing deodorant and you know,
which is
correcting my
good for
hygiene.
you.
Yeah, I mean,
It's good. It's thick
Yeah,
skin.
He's got a
bro.
little bit of trauma, bro.
Yeah,
Relax.
I mean,
I had trauma too. This is my point. Like, it's good for you. It's thick skin. It's
Whatever
lesson
I know-
learned.
Where's the tissue
It's
box?
progress.
Yo,
It's
yo,
becoming
please.
a better man. It's progress. It's understanding. But being bullied is okay. You know, there's a line that you don't cross. But like some of those uncomfortable truths are those buttons that are pressed. It's like self-reflection. Like, oh, I need to be better so that
Yeah.
this guy has no ammunition, and like you carry
for
on.
sure.
Like
a
you
lot of
move-
things I learned as a kid is because I was like bullied.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, I think maybe for all of us, you know,
Yeah.
if somebody makes fun of you and you're like, oh shit, I'm not gonna do that. Or,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
there's no one, like I said, like a brother or like a sibling to tell you those, to really bully you.
Yeah.
Like those are the real bullies. Like my
'Cause you know
brother,
they love you like,
because they
regardless.
love you,
Yeah.
bro. It's rooted in love, and that's the whole point. It's like
Yeah.
So you really love Indians? Is
I
what you're
love
saying.
Indians,
Yeah,
man.
because that's what. Okay.
I love them.
get
There's
it, I get
maybe
it.
1.5 or whatever, 1.4 billion. There's so many of them. It's
Yeah.
hard not to love some of them, but
Like
it's
so
also hard
many
not to
di-
hate a lot of them. You know what I mean?
But
And
yeah,
get annoyed.
biggest-
And
But
like-
yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So like, why do they wear sandals? Doesn't make sense. Are they all student drivers?
It's a cultural thing.
I know, but what is the student? Then explain the student driver thing.
What do you
Why
mean
are they
student
all
driver?
student drivers? They're all. Have you not
So
seen?
I don't know
What do you
about
mean
this,
they're all
man.
student
Bro,
drivers?
He's
I'm
just being
tell-
racist. I don't
I'm
know
not
what he's
being
talking
racist.
about.
I'm not being. Look at any of
Attack
the.
him, Indians. Get the Klan.
If you
get
look
the
at Dallas,
scammers.
What is this guy
No,
talking
no,
about?
I'm telling you, bro. Look at their cars. Look, they have 7 bumper stickers in the back, and they all say student driver.
Maybe they have kids that are student
They're
drivers.
not, bro. Pull up and see the driver. It's not. It's
Yeah,
not a
but
student
like
driver.
just because it says student driver doesn't mean like the student needs to drive it all the time. Maybe
No,
they
bro, it's
share
'cause
the
it's-
cars.
Maybe they
it's
share their car. Maybe
so
that's what it is.
wild.
Maybe they have.
I was about
Maybe
to
they
say
all
something.
do have one student
I was
driver.
about to say
maybe.
something crazy.
Yeah,
but I'm not
so
gonna
I
say
guess
it.
they all have a student in the family, or maybe they're all students. The Indians are all, even when they're 70 years old, they're taking classes and they're studying. So maybe they're all.
No.
So got that.
Yeah,
Student
like
mindset.
Vivek said, you know, he's a successful Indian,
Yeah.
and he's also kind of like, you know, he said that Americans, they're lazy and Indians work harder. That's what he said. But I'm only talking about the gym. Indians are great. They just need to work on these things, and it's if there's again 1.4, 1.5 billion or however much there is, there's gonna be a lot of them. So naturally, in every city, every place you go, it's gonna be a minority group that has strength in numbers, and with that, you know, comes like responsibility of being better and assimilating and growing, keeping your culture, doing that, whatever you're saying, cultural stuff. It's cultural. It's like, okay, you can, in the comfort of your own home, wear whatever you want, smell however you want. But if you go to a public shared space, be mindful of the people you're sharing that space with so that they're more welcoming to more of your people.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Well, I agree with you on the body odor thing, right? Where okay, like regardless of where you're from, when you go out and you're gonna be with other people, you should smell nice.
100%.
You should,
Yeah.
make it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
yeah, it's trends though. It's
Yeah.
patterns. It's
But-
numbers. It's data.
Yeah,
Let's-
but
let's-
them
let's wrap it up.
wearing
Yeah.
them wearing sandals is is I don't think that would be something that is culturally interrupting.
No. But if
No,
they're
but
doing,
if you're on the basketball court and you're wearing sandals, like it is
I mean-
doesn't make any sense.
no, that's
I don't
not
think
that's-
anybody's wearing
that's-
sandals on basketball.
Go to Frisco
Listen,
Lifetime, bro. Go to
that's-
Frisco Lifetime. Go to the basketball court. And you'll see.
No, if the sandals thing is like not about the community, it's
Yeah.
about dude, be safe. Like it's not
Yeah.
a safe thing to wear sandals on a treadmill.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's also gross to be barefoot in public on a treadmill. That's the like if you're gonna be barefoot, that's when you're affecting the people around you because likely your foot's gonna smell.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're gonna be sandals, be careful on a treadmill because it's gonna get caught and you're gonna get hurt. That's like an individual thing.
Yeah.
So again,
I think it's an educational piece. I like the fact that we're talking about it.
yeah,
I think we should talk about this.
We should
more.
bring
You
more
know,
of
this
the
is-
Indian
yeah.
community on to ask them
Yeah,
specifically
absolutely.
how they feel about it.
for sure. And I
But-
got a lot of
Yeah.
Indians in my
But
in my
honestly,
family and
a
my
minute
friend
and
group.
17. Let's sort of an hour and 17 minutes in. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
But I want to give you guys some homework. If you guys ever see a car with a student driver bumper sticker, no, honestly, pull up and tell me if it's an actual student driving on it.
For you, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna go
record
up
it.
to that
No,
person.
straight up record.
I'm gonna ask
because I don't want to
them.
leave this alone because you guys are making me feel like I'm the only one noticing this.
And then I'm gonna ask
You-
a person with a Tesla. Are you aware that your car is gonna be worth $20,000?
No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I think your point.
These are the
on,
things that
your
keep you
point
up at
on the-
night. I
no,
want you
your
to be
point
able
on
to
the
sleep.
Tesla. Your point on the Tesla and why they get it makes total sense, but for why all of them are student drivers still doesn't make any sense to me. So for this next week until we do record the next podcast, if you see a student driver bumper sticker, pull up to the front, tell me if it's a student or not. Honestly.
What
It's not
what
going
if
to
it's a
be.
family member? That's
Okay, but then if you see 15 of them and it's
What
all
are you
family
trying
members,
to say? Just say what you're trying to say.
I'm saying I don't know why they have student drivers on the bumper sticker unless they all share one car and there's a student in the family, which
Maybe
might
they
make
just
sense.
want people to be slow and mindful around them, so they.
Okay,
throw it
but
up
then
there.
why 3 student driver bumper stickers on one car?
So people really know.
They
What's the
literally
gender?
have it
What's the gender of
plastered.
the driver?
They have it plastered all over, bro.
Let's get into it. What's
There's
the
some-
gender of the driver? That's the other question you have to ask.
It's a male, right?
No.
No, it's a female.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Safety first.
Safety first. Like
He's saying women can't drive, by the way. That's
not
what
what
he's
I'm
saying.
saying. What I'm saying is that
Indian
first of
women
all,
can't
why-
drive.
You heard it here. You heard it here.
No, why?
cut that
Okay. Oh no.
That's the clip, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's the clip.
No, honestly.
That's a joke.
I'm gonna listen, man. In my community, there are a lot of Indians,
Yeah.
and I'll do this exercise for you, where I'll go and I'll visually inspect their car
Yeah.
to see if they have a. I'll see. Maybe I'll go to 10 homes.
Check what they're wearing
No,
on
don't
their feet too.
don't sneak into
Check what
people's
they're wearing
houses.
on their
And I'll
feet.
ask them if they
Don't-
wear sandals at the treadmill.
Don't break
Yeah.
into people's
Yeah.
houses during this week, but just when you're on the road and you see a student driver bumper sticker, because there's a lot where we live, like in the Frisco
Yeah.
sort of area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of student driver bumper stickers. Go and pull up and see who's driving, and I guarantee you won't see a young person driving the car. You won't. So. Again, one time or 2 times, okay, maybe it's the dad or the mom driving,
Yeah, but the
it's
times
never
he
the
drives
student.
also like the adult driving time. If students are driving,
No,
they're
listen,
driving
they
during
do
school
it-
hours.
So that people are mindful of their driving and are slow around them. It actually makes sense. I prefer everybody to do that.
No, man, I cannot agree on that reason. That is not the right reason.
What are you talking
It
about?
does make sense, and that's why they do it. Which
Exactly.
is
You
also,
think they're just plastering stickers just so people can see them and
Yeah.
be slow?
I mean,
Exactly.
I honestly,
It's
they're
like
not
it's
dri-
like, hey, I might make a turn randomly, but I'm a student driver, so just don't be mad at
yeah.
me
and
don't.
I might be going 20 when the speed limit is 45.
Yeah,
I might be
and
doing
you
that.
might have a gun in your car, but I'm a student, so if you shoot me, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
They're smart. No one
I
said
don't
Indians
think
are
any
smart.
Indian is carrying guns, man.
No,
No,
I'm
the-
saying they
the-
know that a Texan is carrying a gun,
A Texan is carrying a gun,
and they know that a Texan will lose their goddamn mind by the way they're driving. So
and they'll never shoot a student. A Texan
Yeah.
will never shoot.
No,
a
they'll
student.
never
I
shoot
mean,
a
like
So
a
you think
real,
like it's
real
damage
Texan.
control? Like even if they
Exactly.
cut somebody off,
exactly.
the person will look at
It's
them
getting
like,
ahead
oh.
of it.
Exactly.
It's smart.
It's actually very
that's
smart.
Yeah, that's
actually
actually
very
That's
smart.
exactly. Oh, now
They're
you're
really
coming
good
around.
at chess.
No,
The
yeah, you're
youngest,
really bringing me around on
the
this
youngest
point.
chess master.
Spelling bees, check. Chess, check.
checkers.
Student drivers,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe the best student drivers.
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
ever
yeah.
have.
We got the
CEOs,
first, chess
CEOs of
world
every
champion.
CEOs of every-
CEOs of
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
of
yeah,
every company is an Indian, so
Yeah,
they got something right.
Yeah.
They're doing something right.
I
so.
think the CEOs of maybe 3 out of the 5 fan companies are Indian.
I think almost every it has to be
Yeah.
the top.
Hey, listen. There's 1 point something. How many Indians are in the world?
I think it's 1.3.
Say how many. Let's chat GPT it. I don't trust Google.
Same. It's the same
It's the
shit.
same data, right?
35 million.
No,
Damn, that's crazy.
1.43 billion.
1.43 billion. Where's
That's-
that? Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
And they all live in Frisco. No,
So
straight
1
up.
point.
all
No,
in
they really
Texas.
do.
1.43.
Straight up,
How
and they all
many
came in the past 2
people?
years. So I also want to know why in the past 3 years they've all came to DFW.
So one
Why
out
is
of
that?
every
Is
eight-
it because of the tech boom, like in DFW?
1.5 almost of every 8 people is
Yeah.
Indian in the whole world. So if you just numbers alone, the smartest people in the world are going to be Indian.
Can
the
you
dumbest
look up
people
how
in the world
many
are gonna be
Indians
Indian.
moved to DFW in 2023 or 2024?
But it's surprising, and despite the 1.43 billion in the major athletics, you still don't see India there.
Well,
No information. 100,000?
nearly 97,000.
100,000 in 2023, 100,000 in 2024.
They average every year, I think, like 90 to 100.
And I don't think it's real. I think it's probably more closer to
No, that seems
5x
real.
that.
That seems real. I don't know, but
Yeah, but these are
I am
the
Indian.
new immigration.
I am Jewish.
30%. So we're 30%.
We are. This is
I
my
did
culture.
My 23andMe. I'm 30% Indian.
Are you?
Yeah, from Punjab.
And I want my
From
people
Punjab.
to thrive, to evolve, to grow.
So I can basically say like out of pocket stuff about Indians.
Exactly.
Because I'm 30%.
Yeah, and you were pretty much Indian too. You're pretty much.
Yeah, I'm right there.
You're right there.
I mean, I wouldn't categorize myself as Indian. But,
Yeah.
You wouldn't, but like, if somebody saw you, they'd be like, "This guy's Indian."
Yeah, but they also like racist.
Have you done your 23andMe?
Are Nepalese
No,
people
man.
racist?
Oh yeah, dude.
Towards who though?
Like everyone.
Yeah, but who mainly? Everyone's got the
Nepalese
name.
people are racist towards Nepalese people, bro. That's how racist.
Who's the most Indian? Indians are racist. They literally have a caste system.
Like, you want me to be honest? Like
Yeah.
growing up,
Yeah.
the group that were most, not we, the group that the
For
family-
next time on the podcast.
the
To be
family-
continued.
No,
Who
no.
is your biggest op
yeah.
and the person you are the most
Yeah,
racist towards? Everyone think hard about who they hate. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
No, for real though. I want because every country, realistically, they do have like another country, and it's usually a neighboring country or someone within their own country.
That's why it's so wild to
That's
me
why
that
it's wild.
not neighboring countries for us.
Oh, okay. Who is it?
South Americans.
Interesting. Like
Really?
wait, South
Like-
Because they're
American.
also farmers.
So I would say, like,
is this like
we
farmer beef?
categorize everybody in one bucket. Like,
like
just,
Brazilians and
no,
like-
no, no. We just
It's
say
the water thing. I think it's the.
Dude, we just say
the-
like, I think we say like the Spanish or something like that, and it means like everybody. The Portuguese are there. You
Damn,
know?
I don't even think they lose sleep over people in Nepal over there. They're probably like, what?
And
They don't
like
care about
growing
Nepal.
up, you know.
That's
it
so
was like,
random.
This
like-
is farming beef, huh?
It's farming.
Yeah,
beef, for
know,
because the
sure.
man.
Nepalis are big farmers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
yeah.
And
It's
South
farm-
Americans are big farmers.
Exactly.
Too.
That's
Yeah.
probably
So
some
they're
farming
just as.
beef.
and like technically we're both brown.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
South Americans.
Yeah,
are
Well,
brown.
that's the funny thing is that
Maybe
brown,
we just want to be a superior farming brown.
For
that
sure,
that is
yeah.
an interesting subject we can touch later, but brown people are super racist towards other brown people,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
super sensitive when a white person is racist
Yes.
to them. It's a very
Yeah, yeah,
interesting
we
thing.
all somehow come together against the white man.
Well, that you just feel more like, I think, sensitive to that racism. Like, an Indian could be racist towards me, or
Yeah.
you can be racist towards me. And it might not sting as much, but if it's like a white dude,
Yeah.
some reason it just stings a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's a very interesting thing because realistically, they're more racist in that part of the world with each other.
Yeah.
Again, in
That's
India,
just because we look like each other, so we give each other a pass. Like if a black person says something bad to a black person, it's not that big of a deal compared to if a white person.
No,
said
but I'm
something.
talking specifically about brown people. I'm talking about brown people are super racist towards other brown people,
But they're
that
less
aren't.
affected.
Dude,
right?
we are so racist in
So
like
racist.
Nepal and India particularly.
Yeah.
Th-
That
there's
we
literally-
created the caste system.
literally there's a
just to
caste
be
system.
just to put the other groups down.
Exactly.
Just to say I am up here and you are down here. Like,
Exactly.
that we created that ourselves.
They have a system there.
Yeah.
Over here, it's not
Dude,
a
and
system.
it's followed still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's again, that's why a lot of people come here to escape that system
Mm-hmm.
and kind of make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're extra
And then they bring that
sensitive.
here. And
Exact-
now you're seeing that caste system be applied here in America.
Totally.
People ask, "Hey man, what's your background? Where are you from?"
Who's people?
I mean, like for me, Nepali people.
Exactly.
They'll ask.
It's other brown people. That's my point.
Yeah.
Like
Even-
a white person doesn't necessarily care.
'cause they don't know that it exists.
Yeah,
I think it's just
exactly.
they're
But
ignorant to
they,
it, yeah.
when they are racist towards you or even come off as racist,
Yeah.
it bothers you more.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about. It's like people just need to be understanding that there are trends and there are things that certain cultures do that don't mesh with other cultures, and you're not going to like everything, and it's okay to do what you believe in, but to be respectful of like shared spaces, right? Like
Yeah.
ultimately, like that's like always like my biggest thing. But no,
I
this
think
is
we'll
interesting.
use this platform to educate.
That's the point of this podcast.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, this is all facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna get killed online.
I'll make sure I cut it in a way where it's controversial.
I'm
a
not
little bit.
worried.
No,
10
do
pound
we need to
weights,
do
10 pound weights, bro.
what is that starting page where they have like viewer discretion advised or something?
Yeah,
or
like,
something like
We're
that.
not
like,
gonna be monetized with
Yeah.
this content, bro.
Yeah. I don't. I mean.
It's
I don't-
okay, man.
You never know. Maybe we get a good Indian following. 1.4
We
billion people.
100% we will.
1.4.
Because they rally like no other.
Yeah.
That's why I love them the most.
And I'm also 30% Indian. I don't
Yeah,
know
and
if
I
mentioned
love
that. Did
I love
mention that
Indians. I
We
love
gotta-
Indians.
We gotta fact check this.
I'm Indian, actually.
We
earlier?
gotta.
I'm gonna get you for your birthday.
My name's Aaron.
23andMe.
Really?
Yeah, and
But I
then you're
don't-
gonna see that you're 30% Indian too.
Mine would probably be higher. Bro.
You might jump.
I'll
Don't
probably,
jump
like-
after you get your results. you might jump.
I'm sure it's gonna be more than like 50%.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm sure.
okay.
I'm sure. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
so we're all
that
pretty
it's-
much in here is one Indian. There's 30, 50. There's actually more than an Indian.
Yeah, it's almost 1.4
Yeah,
Indians in here.
1.4 billion.
All right, let's wrap it up. I'm an hour and 30.
Yeah.
An hour and
So
28.
let's wrap up. That's episode 2. Appreciate you guys watching. If there are any topics that you guys want us to talk about, leave those in the comments. But appreciate y'all watching. See you on the next one.